Hello and welcome. My name is Debbie. I'm also known as Nana, and this is Dreamcrafter Creations. And this is a little corner in my world where I like to create things from sewing to knitting, crocheting, weaving, all kinds of crafts. A maker's channel. So you'll see all kinds of things here. And my first thing was that last June, and it's July 1st today, I set some intentions of what I wanted to get done because I am also part of the 12 cast-ons of 2026. And my craft room has become overwhelming with different projects and bringing new things in, but not taking old things out. So this video is going to be my update on decluttering my craft room here and how far I've got so far. 12 cast-ons of 2026, where I'm at, what I was able to get done in June for my intentions of June, and I might even have a little finished object for you because it's been a while. I think it was right before I went to Switzerland in March that I had the It's Never Too Late, I think, and I finished that right before we went. And that if you want to go back and look at if you're new here and you haven't seen it, you can go back on my tour to Switzerland and it's in there. But yeah, it's been 3 months since I actually finished anything because I've just been working on a bunch of different projects. But I also did finish, and if you're new here, I'll put the picture up, but if you've seen it before, sorry, I'm going to put the picture up because I'm so proud of it. My quilt that's at the long arm right now, and I had just finished piecing it a week or so ago, and that is the greenhouse quilt, and it's up here. I'll put the picture. So I consider that done because I don't do the quilting. I just piece it together, and this quilt is very large, and I don't even do the bindings for my quilts. I have them done for me just because that takes a ton of time, and they do it by the machine, and maybe I should learn to do it by the machine, but I wanted to get it done and move on and do other projects, to be honest with you. So shame on me, I guess, for not, doing it myself, but I'm okay with it, just doing the piecing. But I will bring it back in at the end of the season, after the summer probably, and we're going to do a parade of quilts, and you'll see a lot of different quilts I've made over the years. Some are going to be just pictures because I don't have them anymore, but I'm going to try to do a video on that. We will see. But first thing I want to talk about is the June intentions. So I did work on my satellite shawl a little bit, just a little bit. I'm still in the brioche, but I really haven't gotten that much farther on it. So this will be part of July's intentions. But maybe not, because I'm going to show you what my main intention for July is. So if I can do a little bit of this, I will, but I have a feeling I'm just going to stick to this one project for July, and we'll pick up everything again in August because I want to get it done. So stay tuned. I'm going to show you. And another project in June that I said I wanted to work on and get done to a certain point was my Quiet Sky blanket that I crochet that looks like a quilt by Anita Gibney. And I'm going to show you. I got the 2 rows put together. I'm not sure if you can see the whole thing. So what I will do is I will take a picture. Wait, maybe if I show it to you this way. If I show it to you this way, can you see it? Can you see? I'll take a picture on the floor and put it up so you can see it. But what do you think? I love it so far. it's really been a nice project. We put it together. She has us put it together with, I don't even know what you call it, but so you see the back, it's put together with the oyster. So you can't really see it in the front. It's just a single crochet through the back loops of each row. So you can't see it very much, but I love this. I can't wait till it's done. So this may get worked on in July. I'm not sure. Like I said, I have another project that I really want to work on in July. So I might put everything else on hold. But let me show you what that is. And I said I wanted to do a Christmas in July. And what I had bought, was this Good Tidings Advent by Barrett Wool Company. Susan B. Anderson. And it's a bunch of little Christmas characters, and they're put in these little cones that you make up. I'm going to try to show you a better picture. Here they are. So it's kind of like a bunting, and I thought it would be really pretty, you know, in here. Or if I can find a place upstairs. Let's see, here are the cones, and they're all numbered. And like she says in the book, you don't even have to do it that way. She talked about making some type of quilt with them and use them as pockets, but I think that would be way too much work for me. But I actually have a wooden bowl like that, and I like how she put all the cones in a bowl, which I might do that upstairs because I do have a place for that. But I have limited wall space, so I don't know. We'll see. It's a long time off from Christmas, but so that is my intention for July. I really just want to work on this project. Christmas in July, just work on this, all the little toys. And she does say to work on all the toys before you do the cones, because I did buy the kit. And here they are, all the little characters and notions, candy canes, wreaths, mittens, looks like gingerbread boys and Santas and snowmen. So I want to work on those, and let me show you what's in the kit. So there's some felt, which I think this is going to be the numbers. And there's some pipe cleaners. Not sure what those are going to be for. There are more pipe cleaners. Some green threads, so I'm assuming to maybe embroider the numbers on the cones. Now, some eyes and black threads, so this must be for all the little characters, all these little notion bags. I'm going to keep them nicely in here so I don't lose them. And then there's another bag. I haven't opened this yet. And by the way, I am filming this at like 8:30 at night because it was such a busy day. It was such a busy month. And this was the only time I could really do it. And I really wanted to get this in July 1st so that we could show this Advent. So if I seem a little tired, I am. So we have some, I forget what they call this type of string. I really do. Well, baker's twine or something like that. That's very Christmassy. And then it comes with all the red clothesline pins to put up if you want to do it as bunting. So that all came in here. And it's all Shetland. Let me get my glasses. Spun in the USA. This is Shetland. This is a toffee, 100% virgin wool. There's 217 yards, and the needles are going to be a 2 to 4 gauge, 6.5 to 7.5. So woolen spun in New England. We have a toffee, which probably a gingerbread man. We have a white, probably for the snowmen. We have black. And what do they even call it? This is called ebony. And we have a gray, which is silver mist. We have a evergreen. And for Christmas, of course, we have to have a red, which is called red. There you go, red with the green, very Christmassy. And there's this greenish blue, which they call wood smoke. It's kind of like a teal color. And some more white. And this one is a sand, so a lighter brown. So we have all these colors, which I think is going to be beautiful. So that is my intention for July, to do this little advent, and I think it'll be great because it's very hot here in New England, and I want to be able to sit outside and knit, and so these will be small, so I should be able to sit outside without getting too hot doing it all. So let me just put everything back in. I don't want to lose it. And there you go. So there you go. It comes with a beautiful bag. And we are going to start this Christmas Advent this month. Or I'm going to start. So what else? As far as knitting and crocheting, I do have a finished object. And I am so happy. Because like I said, I don't think I finished anything except the quilt. I'm really trying to think if I fit anything in the last 3 months. I'll have to look back, and I'll put a picture here with something if I did finish anything within the 3 months, but I don't think so. I think I've been working on the Quiet Sky blanket. I've been working on the Milton, and that was intended to work on in June, but that was the one intention that I really didn't get to because I wanted to get the Quiet Sky put together. So I really focused on that. But the other thing that I did, and I just said this was a no-brainer, get something done, was my turtle pearl socks. They are off the needles, And these are supposedly a Christmas color. If you can see, they call it Sugar Plum Waltz. I kept calling it Sugar Plum Fairy, but I think it's because, you know, they stuck the pink in there. But my Knit Night friends had told me it looks like watermelon, which I do think it looks like watermelon, but you don't really wear socks, or I don't really wear socks in the summer. So, but I'm so glad I got a pair of socks done. I think this was my second pair this year, because the third pair that I got done was back in November when my Zeke was born, and I made my daughter a pair of socks on the sock machine in a class I took, and I gave them to her while she was in the hospital. And I do not have a picture of those, so they're just a blue-green variegated. But this pattern, and I started these on my trip to Switzerland. I brought these on the plane because I never like to bring anything really big. So I started these. They took me 3 months, but I had all this other stuff going. And on the Turtle Pearl website, when you buy them, I think I got this free, but don't quote me on it, but I think I did. And so the pattern I used is called Back to Basics Socks, Heel Flap and Gusset. And that's the pattern I used. So I will link the Turtle Pearl below, and you'll be able to, and I also have a some yarn, some more yarn from Turtle Pearl, which looks like a Burberry that I may start on. But I did a vanilla sock that had, like, you know, the heel. I don't know if they call this an afterthought heel, but I did start at the toe, and then you take the stitches off and let them sit, and you go up the leg and do the ribbing, and then at the end you pick up the stitches at the heel and do the heel then. I forget what that's called. If anyone has any idea about that, let me know. But I did like this pattern. It does do that reinforcing that you see a lot on the socks. I did it in the magic loop. So I did 2 socks at a time, and I don't know if I would do that again, because a few times it would get and especially when I was doing the ribbing at the end here, it would get all tangled. And and I haven't blocked these because I don't think it's necessary, but I might just because of this. Do you see the line that's going up? Okay. And it's also on this side. And I have it here. And this is because I did it, I think because I did it in the magic loop. I think so it has lines on both sides, but they're very faint and you can't really see it when it's on, but maybe I will block them and see if that makes a difference. But here's my socks. Those got finished. So as far as knitting and crocheting, that is what went on in June, what we're going to start in July, this Advent. And the next thing I took on, and I think I told you in the last video, was the, okay, so the project I told you I was taking on for the next 7 weeks, and I don't know how this is going to work in with the Advent, but it's going to have to, the Summer Scrap Bash 2026. And last Thursday, so I assume tomorrow, we'll get the second week. We got the first week, and during the first week, we were just planning and organizing. And let me show you what I found. So I also, in last video, because I went down the rabbit hole of organizing, that led to this whole room being organized and into the next room. But I haven't finished. I barely made a dent of it. I literally had to phone a friend, and I will tell you about that in a minute after I show you what I chose. So what I chose was these pinks and reds. They're not reds. They're like, I would call them like corals. Okay. And I will take them out of the bags and take a picture and put it up here in a minute or so. But then with these little flowers, okay, and this actually I think was paired with it when I got it years ago. And then I have yellows. They're sliding the bags. I got some yellows. I have some whites and off-whites, some more pinks, but this is more of a real pink versus the coral, some greens, and I think I was going to keep that at the color palette, and maybe if it goes in this kind of Wedgwoody blue, it might, because like that goes good. So I think I might be able to tie these blues in. And here's some more blues. Okay. And this is just a little, I want to say, I don't think this was Liberty. I want to say it was either Liberty or Tilda. If you recognize it, let me know. And I would like to incorporate these in, but I'm not sure. So it'll be, we'll see as we go. And then there's some darker greens if I want to do that. But let me explain to you what is offered for this scrap bash. She puts out 4 different blocks that you can do. And the blocks that I would like to do, okay, so there's a bear paw, diamond panes, hens and chickens, hovering hawks, log cabin, a 16 patch, and a sawtooth star. So these are pretty typical blocks, but she also shows you a lot of different layouts and combinations. So I'm not 100%, but I'd like to do the log cabin and the sawtooth star maybe. So we'll see. We'll see. But that's where I am on that. And I have to incorporate this into July as well. So between the Advent and this, and maybe doing a square, some squares for the quiet sky, that's what my intentions are going to be. The knitting might get put on hold because I'm not going to have to be able to wear them or anything till the fall anyways. So that's what I picked for scraps. And at the end, like I said, I'll put a picture at the end. I'll put them all out nice and pretty and take a picture. But so I started on Sunday pulling this room apart. And if you go to my last video, I showed you the wall, and it was just getting overwhelming with just disorganization and stuff that's been sitting in here for a while that I really didn't need. And I think it's very common for us crafters to have this problem, or at least, I don't know, maybe it's like a hoarding situation. I don't know, but I don't think I'm as bad as some other people out there, because I've watched some other videos, and after clearing out what I've cleared out, I feel a lot better. So what happened was I was down here, I was cleaning it out, and something overcame me. I just was so overwhelmed with what was happening here. And so I found a friend. I called my friend Jane. I call her my fiber friend. We did a video together, and I will link that below. She is an unbelievable sewer. We did these last year, these little elves with the Tilda Christmas fabric, and we did a video on it. And she helps me do some bags and stuff like that, and she sews clothes, and she's very organized. So I called her up and I said, Jane, I need help. And she came over, and you're not going to believe how she helped me. Look at the video before's, last video, and now I'm going to show you what she did. Hold on. So just starting with this drawer, I had all these fat quarters, and they just were all disorganized. She took them, she folded them so nicely, put them in the drawer. Then this is bigger fabrics, I think, that aren't so much in pairs. And we got them in here. She got them in here. And then this last drawer is my Advent quilt that I'm working on for 3 years, and different projects. There's a pillow that goes with it, but this is the work in progress drawer, one of the work in progress drawers. This drawer, I actually neatened up a little. This is just all things that I can embroider on my embroidery machine. This, oh, I can't open it up, but this drawer, because the camera stand is in the way, is all just different interfacings. So they're in there neatly. And I want to come up and around. This is what she really helped me with. This top shelf has all my flannels, all my linens, some ticking and canvas materials. This is a quilt kit. This is a quilt kit, another quilt kit, and another quilt kit. And these are my whites and some fabrics that I got from Australia. So we put them in the Australian bags they came in, and they're not kits, it's just material. And then I have this little vintage pile that I've collected some vintage fabrics. And then come down. Now these I have to go through. These are 3 different project bags that hold my knitting stuff, and I have to go through those and make sure. I want to separate everything. There's probably millions of different things in each bag, but this middle bag I actually made. It's on the website, Annie's Bags. I think that's what it's called. I'll show you below. And this is one of these great bags I got from the Unruly Stitch that, you put the yarn in and you can pull up the strand and it doesn't get tangled. And this is just a little bag I made a long time ago. And I put my serger over here because I don't use it very often, out of the way. Now this down here is my ribbon bin. That hasn't gone through yet. I have to figure out what I'm doing with my ribbons. This is just kind of crafting stuff we put there for now, and then some project bins that also for scraps have to be going through, and some felt and some velour and just different random fabrics to make bags. And that's my embroidery machine arm. So in these bags that I bought, these are all quilts I did in the scraps, and I got the bags at Container Store. That's a quilt kit ready to go. These containers I got at the Container Store, and this is a fat quarter set, some oh my God, what do they call the rolls? Jelly rolls. And this is also another fat quarter set. This is a fat quarter set to do a very big sampler quilt. Some random fat quarters. Another quilt ready to go. There's a couple of quilts in there ready to go. And then this is all the layer cakes I have. And then just some string. And these little boxes for the toys I make. And that's it. But what a difference if you go back and look at last week's video. And then I have my scissors all hung here for now. I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen. But what I think I'm going to do, and then this all has to be done. All this yarn and this down here, patterns and stuff have to be neatened up. And this is my wall of works in progress. And up here is all the yarn that has to be taken out, organized. I think I'm going to do it by weights. And then I bought these white plastic baskets that look wickery, but they're plastic. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put my yarns in there, and then maybe I'll label underneath the types of yarn they are. So that's the next project, to get all this done up here. And this is another story, that wall. I'm not sure what we're going to do with that yet. But that's what's happened on Sunday. So I'll talk to you in a minute. So it's been a lot of work. And it has been very overwhelming, but I'm feeling a lot better with just getting everything organized. And what we did was we separated out what I wasn't going to use anymore, what I could donate, because I'm not going to put things on Marketplace. It's just not worth my time. I'd rather donate to a good cause. So I have a lot of Minky, because I made a lot of baby blankets in the past, but I actually don't love working with Minky, and I don't really plan. I mean, I could keep it and eventually use it, and I might end up storing it because I did call Project Linus, and they don't take the Minky. You can donate fabric for people to sew for the children in need. But I ended up, when I cleaned that wall up and the shelves over there, had a big bag, like big, put together of, they'll take fleece and they'll take quilter's cotton. So they had a big bag that I donated. And then the Minky's still sitting out there with like kind of random fabrics, which I did call my senior center, but they just wanted the quilter's cottons. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that yet. And some other things that came out of here were things that weren't related, like, well, not weren't related, but I had a lot of macrame string and stuff like that because I did macrame in the past. I did take my weaving machine out of here for now because that's pretty portable. And what was happening is the whole table here was getting filled up, which was bringing me the claustrophobia, and I just didn't have room for anything. So the whole table is cleaned off now. And now when I want to cut a quilt, like you saw, I was up in my dining room cutting the greenhouse quilt because I just didn't have the room down here. I mean, this table isn't as big as my dining room, but I could have at least done the beginning of it. And so now it's all cleaned up. So I want to figure out the threads, the ribbons, and I think what I'm going to do, if I can make it work, is take that wall I just showed you and put it into our spare room over there. And I want to make this wall more of a cabinet and shelves and some, I forget what they call this slat board back here, because in that other area I showed you where my mannequin was, slat board, because when you open the door, it's very crowded. So my wheels are spinning and there's some other things that might be done, but this is where I'm at right now. And I'm going to continue to pick away at it, but I have to clean that room out, which has many years of different crafting things, Christmas paper, storage for seasonal decorating. So I have to work on that. And who wants to do that when you want to be sewing or knitting? So it will get done this year though, and that's the plan. So if you're still with me right now, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And there has been a couple of new subscribers, and if you are here still, thank you very much. I really appreciate anyone who has subscribed to me and watches me because I'm a small little channel and I'm just trying to, get it to grow. So you know the spiel. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Share my videos to someone you think might like, and give me a thumbs up or like. But until next time, happy crafting.